Hey, girl.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Well, this is it.
It looks so great. I had no idea it would be this big.
Yeah, it's 45-foot bus. Hey, do you want to help me put the banner up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna open this.
All right.
There we go. All right. Trust me, I've learned a lot about buses in this past 3 weeks.
You know, I had been involved a little bit here and there, but then it wasn't until the migrant caravan happened, and Estefania had gone down for about 2 weeks, and she would come back and she would tell me about, you know, what was happening there, everything that was going on, how many kids were there, which was a huge surprise. So I decided to go down with her on the third weekend. And that's sort of when we started to form Yes We Can.
Oh, cool. This is awesome.
Yep. This was our first banner down at the camp.
Oh, right, when it was the classroom?
Yes, yeah. But eventually there's gonna be a wrap on the bus.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So we're really excited. Oh, hey, Kyle.
Hey.
Okay, if you can help us right there. Okay.
Okay, so just give me 1 second.
Yep.
So that trip that we went on together to Tijuana, did you know then that you wanted to do a classroom?
No, not at all. I mean, when we went down there, it was just essentially, I think, emergency mode for everyone that
Yeah.
was concerned about the border
Yeah.
and what was happening to the asylum seekers. So when we went, we took down toiletries,
Yeah.
food, clothes. And then I think after that initial trip, I realized that there wasn't much help for the kids.
Right.
You know, there wasn't really anyone focusing on their education or activities. So when we came back, this is something I've wanted to do my whole life, like start schools for children in need. It was way down my goals bucket list, and then it just kind of fast forward, and now we're doing this.
Amazing.
But it was really just born out of need.
Yeah.
Out of need to help and having the ability to do so. Knowing people like you and the community that we're part of who really has supported us.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole bus was donations.
Doing this type of work, it's definitely a rewarding feeling, but even more than that, it really feels like a sense of purpose. To just see a smile on a kid's face is so incredible, and knowing that for the rest of their day, they're going to be leaving with joy and experiencing the rest of their day with joy. You know, so that's why it feels purposeful.
I'm just so excited to be alive at this moment. I think we're living in historic times. I think we're reliving those moments where the youth is being asked to step up. That if it's not us, then who? If it's not now, then when? And that's kind of the motto that I live by, that if we're not doing this, this bus wouldn't exist. If you're not going up there and you're not protesting, then your voice is not being heard. If you're not making noise, nobody's gonna hear you. So I really hope that people really watch this and take it personal, because it is.
So when we first went down to the camp, we definitely started on a shoestring budget. We actually just used wedding tents to run our school program. That was basically our structure, and we laid out some rugs, so there was really no money behind us. But again, going back to our organization, Yes We Can, we just made it happen, you know, and we've gotten so much support and it's grown so quickly. I mean, now we have a bus. How crazy is that? And unexpected is that? But it's just kind of amazing that when you're doing positive things and you're thinking positively and you're helping people, that good comes full circle.
The big reason I started doing this is because I myself am a political refugee child. I came to the US when I was 10 years old. I came with my family. Unfortunately, in my country, which is Colombia, there's a lot of political problems, well, there were at that time, and my family was affected by it. My dad received death threats, which at first we didn't think they were real, which I think happens to a lot of people, that you don't ever think someone wants to hurt you to the extent of threatening your life. So it happened to my dad, and within 2 weeks our life was uprooted.
It looks so great.
Thank
It's
you
pretty.
so
You're really
much.
far along.
We are. I would say we're about 80% there. We still have
Nice.
some painting things to do and finishing up the reading corner. But yeah, let's put these up.
Okay.
And we can just lay the books down. So yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's been incredible how much support we've gathered from the community. We wouldn't be able to make this if, we didn't have volunteers, we didn't have future support. So it's been, thank you so much for coming, Maddie.
Of course. And I can't wait till we're actually doing the maiden voyage,
I know. It's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be great to have you because you are doing so many things as well. So I want everybody to know what the things that you're working on.
Oh yeah, thank you, babe. Well, it's so nice. What I love about what you're doing is it's so hands-on, it's helping real people, and sometimes I get so involved in the policy stuff, which is going to help a lot of people, but to actually be on the ground helping real people is so inspiring.
What's been really great about this whole experience is that even when we were down at the camp just with the tent, it was just truly magical to see their faces light up, to see that finally there was a place for them to be kids. And you could see it, like the kids running to the tents and just having that experience. I never really thought this would come into fruition this way, and I always try to get through this without crying because it's just, sometimes you think you can't do something, or it's too ambitious, or it's too big, and this is definitely an undertaking.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Where it's going to go. It's going to keep growing. It's amazing.
Where to get a bus, how to build a bus, but when you just start asking questions, you start finding solutions, and it really does go back to the yes we can idea, just always finding solutions. So we're hoping that when we arrive with the bus, it's kind of like a magical place that they can really be kids. I'm hoping that this is the real life version of the Magic School Bus, and that kids can really just come in here and just their imagination can run wild, and they can experience a world that they've never been to, even if they don't have a legal status, even if they don't have a home to go to, even if they can't afford to eat that day.
Right.
So, at the camp, you could see kids on the floor sleeping in tents. You can see them running without shoes, struggling to eat, and the families as well. And it's just really hard to think that there are people going through this, and that it's so hard, when you start talking about politics, that people start choosing sides, and then they leave out the human.
They
that's
forget
involved.
the people.
Yeah.
It's
a
just
human
so inspiring
crisis.
to me after everything that they've been through, those young ones, to know that they're gonna have this place of respite in this bus and this classroom, and to have people treat them well. And it touches me to tears. I can't wait. I can't wait to join you on the first trip.
And I'm just so proud of you as well, everything that you're working on. I'm hoping that we are that next generation of, of women that other women can look up to and be like, I can do that. I can create change just by going to a meeting, just by
and it can start so small,
Yeah.
Both of us just started going to marches 2 years ago, and now we're doing things in the world. So
yeah, even at Standing Rock, I mean, that was just a breakthrough experience for me, because I had never experienced community coming together for a cause.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe watching videos on Facebook that they were attacking people, and the police wasn't protecting the people they're supposed to protect. And all these issues were happening that I told Kyle, I was like, we have to go. Hey guys, this is my last video from the Standing Rock Reservation. I have learned how ignorant I was, really. The things I've learned in school about the Native Americans and about the Thanksgiving celebration are just things that were taught to me, and I didn't question them at the moment. But now, just standing here at the reservation, sharing with Native Americans, standing up for Standing Rock, and standing up against the North Dakota Access Pipeline, just really has opened my mind to being able to really investigate and do research before accepting something because somebody's telling me that it's the way it is. Finding out things for yourself and being able to make those judgments and have your own opinion is what makes you an informed individual, and it's what allows you to support causes that really mean something to you, and not just because they're popular, just because people are supporting it. No, you need to just put your money where your mouth is and take action and go to the places that you think are being mistreated and stand up for what you believe in.
Anyway, I'm doing snowmobiling today. That's my favorite thing to do here because they let me drive. You're doing Glenwood Springs on Thursday. I've done that.
Yeah, and then they have that big diving board at the end of the other one.
They have a diving board?
They have a diving board.
Nobody told me that.
Oh yeah, and they have. Did you sit in the chair that blows bubbles? You know, like the disability chairs.
Yeah.
To get people into
Yeah,
the
lift.
Yeah, they have it something like that, and you sit in the chair, and it's underwater, and it's like a personal jacuzzi. They give you like a little massage.
I'm gonna take my stuff because
You gonna take all your stuff?
probably better because I'm not supposed to come back. I met Brent on Saturday when we got here, and we're roommates, and he's also on my team. And when I first met him, he said, "Yeah, I got a lot of really cool stuff that I'm going to wear this year." So I'm thinking, what does that mean? And so he told me that he had a Hillary mask and also a Trump mask, but he also says he has a Mohawk hat, and he let me feel it. He let me feel all the stuff that he had. He'd put it on and let me feel it. And I'm thinking, this dude is way out there.
You guys like celebrities. I'll get your autograph later.
Okay, thank you. I like that hat.
And then he told me about this this onesie snowsuit that he had special ordered, and it was the Stars and Stripes. You know, the guy is just really kind of flamboyant. You know, he's very proud that he's a veteran, and he likes to make fun of controversial stuff. So you know, he's got a lot of really great stories, and he's just become a really good friend, and he is so protective of me that I just can't believe it.
The coach, Katie, asked if I had a roommate, and initially I was supposed to bring my girlfriend, but that didn't happen. So she said, "Would you mind rooming up with Chuck?" And I was like, "Who's Chuck?" So she said, "Well, you know," she kind of gave me a little background history on him, and I said, "Absolutely, I would love to do that."
If I need to have water, if I need to go to the bathroom, if I need to go to a meeting, he's always there. You know, and even though he is a jokester, he takes some things very, very serious. And one of the things that he takes very serious is the fact that he's a veteran and he would do anything in the world for other veterans. And I really admire that about him.
We got your coffee. We got milk right on the other side of it.
Okay.
We got bread.
Okay.
On the other hand, we got some croissant.
Okay.
Your water.
Yep.
Okay, then your plate.
Got it.
And then you got your potatoes right there.
Right here. Yep.
Eggs. For a vet to help a vet, the easiest way to describe that is if someone tells you, "Listen, go out there and go skiing." You told me, go out there and go skiing. You can do it. I'd be like, "Listen, you have no idea who I am, what I am, where I came from, what I've done." But if I see Chuck and we have that connection and he's out here skiing and I can't, and I'm scared and I don't want to do it, that's where the vets help the vets. That's where the vets can say, "Well, listen, I was where you were at 6 years ago. I was where you were at 6 months ago." We're all trying to get back to where we were before we got hurt. That will never happen. But if we can get back just a little bit, whether it's a sense of pride, whether it's a sense of accomplishment, whether it's getting past an injury to move forward and have that next chapter in our lives, that to me is probably one of the biggest things when you talk about a miracle on a mountainside. That is worth more than any amount of money you can put on a ski lift ticket or skis or outfits or any of that other stuff.
There's a little kill switch over here. I'll keep my eye on that. Another thing, you've got some heated hand grips.
All right, baby.
So right here, I'll breathe your thumb right here. You've got 2 buttons right here. Do you feel those?
You know, I'm on the snowmobile like I'm a little kid. I'm all revved up and ready to go, and I'm bouncing around on the snowmobile, and I just can't wait because I'm so excited that I'm going to not only drive a vehicle, but I'm going to drive it in the snow in a beautiful place like Snowmass. I could hear the trees when I was going past them. I could hear how fast I was going by how fast it sounded like I was going past the trees. And then when I would pass other snowmobiles coming back the other way, Zach would tell me, okay, we're passing, and go ahead and wave at them. One of the things about a good guide is not only do they guide you, but they take the time to tell you what's around you. He was very descriptive, and that's exciting for me because in my mind I can make a little map of what he's saying, and he was telling me that it had snowed the night before, so the snow was up in the trees, and it was like that. I'm putting everything in my mind so that I can, quote, see it. It gives me the sense of things that so many people miss. Man, I was like on top of the mountain. I was like so high. It was just so beautiful. And I just loved it. And I just can't wait to do it again.
Now the first one would be really cool to do with your eyes shut. All right, there we go. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Chuck and I met about 7 or 8 years ago. He started seeing me for sports, any adaptive sports that he could find. And the more we worked together, we would go kayaking every month, we would go camping, do different things. And so we grew a lot closer together, and we have more of a personal relationship, more than just coach and athlete. We're friends. We think of him as family. He knows my husband, he knows my child, he calls him Uncle Chuck. We're very close, and he's just a great guy. And he's helped other veterans that they're down, they don't feel good, they don't want to go out, they don't want to go ski, and he'll just sit there and talk to them. By the end of their conversation, they're up and ready and raring to go, and they'll get out there. And we'll sit there and talk about it, and he'll say, hey, I want you to meet this person. I need you to get them involved in this. And once I sign them up, then he's there, and he's waiting for them to get out there and encouraging them and inspiring them to do the same thing he's doing. Chuck has taught me that there are literally no limits. Do not let any boundaries, do not let any sort of disability stop you from doing what you want to do. He's actually way more active than anyone that I know. Really, he will do anything and everything just to get out there, to stay out of the house and stay physically active and stay healthy. And it teaches me that I need to do the same thing, and gives inspiration to other veterans to not let any boundaries, any disability stop them.
She's never told me, not once, I don't think you should do this. She's always said, if you think you want to do it, then I'll support you. And she has over and over and over. And that's the kind of relationship that I think most veterans have with their recreation therapist. And I think that is what makes it such a special relationship. Katie, she helped heal me. She helped make me whole again. And I don't know how you can ever repay somebody for that. Because I thought my life was over. I thought nobody wants a blind person in their life. And she never made me feel like I was blind. Never. And she made me feel whole. And she made me realize that I am an inspiration. And I never saw that coming. I never thought that I would ever inspire anybody because I'm blind. And she never stopped believing in me. She's amazing.
When we think about marches, we are representing all of the people, present and not present. We're representing something from the earth, something from the ground up. And when you make a sign with your hands, it's connecting to a part of yourself that really is authentic. So much in this world, the things we create are digital. So it does feel really great to make something with your hands, to carry it out there in the world, and to make something physical that represents your feelings. I've always felt very connected to Mother Earth. And from a very young age, had an opportunity to be an environmentalist, to look at the connection between the world we live in, our spiritual health, our future, and the web of life. So I always felt very deeply called to protect our planet. The word water protector comes from Standing Rock. Standing Rock is an indigenous-led movement started on the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation to protect the water from this oil pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline. Those of us who were there, people from all over the world, people from many different tribes, people from many different places, people of many different skin colors, backgrounds, cultures, all came to Standing Rock. They felt a call. And really what we are, the people who felt called to come make this stand, what we are doing is protecting the water. And when we protect the water, we're protecting the right to live. And when we protect the right to live, we're protecting this world for the generations that are coming after us. And we are protecting what is sacred. And that's why we protect the water, and that's why we're water protectors.
It is our duty to fight for freedom! It is our duty to fight for freedom! It is our duty to win! It is our duty to win! We must love and protect one another! We must love and protect one another! We have nothing to lose but our chains. One more time. It is our duty to fight for...
That first trip was really about bringing aid, bringing things that the people on the ground really needed, the people who are making the real sacrifice of spending their entire winter at Standing Rock. What we brought was a trailer that we winterized, could sleep 6 people, a lot of really good winter gear. We brought 4 wood-burning stoves for different kitchens, for a water house. They actually had to keep the water house heated, right, for the water to stay melted so people could drink it. I mean, the level of engagement it took for the entire community to keep the people on the ground there alive was immense. We brought oranges, we brought olive oil, and really this first mission was just our humble offering from Los Angeles, from our community here, to send some real support to the people on the ground. So we really had an opportunity to give some people who needed gear immediately gear. And by the end of that first trip, I didn't want to leave. I felt obligated to the people I went with, but my heart was already very much connected to Standing Rock. I feel incredibly lucky that I got to be there. The feeling of being in camp is something that I haven't experienced before, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to experience it again. There was a visceral feeling like the prayers we were laying down in that sacred fire there were getting sent out to the rest of the world. And this feeling like prayers from the rest of the world were funneling into that place. And at the end, there were only a few hundred people left at Oceti, and the air was electric, and the intention was very strong from the people who remained there.
Remember why you are here. I am Stuart, and I stand with Mother. I stand with every individual that is here. Remember why you are here. We are not here to antagonize them. We are here to protect her. And remember that we are the people. We stand for our waters, for our earth, for our air, and the animals, the two-legged, the four-legged, the sick, the flying, every single being. Our ancestors are here, no matter what race you are. We are here together as one family, as one whole. We are not divided. Remember that. Aho! Aho!
And we did know that this was something that was altering each of our lives and was something that we hope will alter the future. There was a lot of trauma inflicted on the people who were at Standing Rock. There were water cannons used on people. There were flash grenades thrown at people. There was point blank mace being sprayed into people's eyes. They did not hold back in their show of force against this group of people who was trying to protect the land and the water for 17 million people downstream.
We stand for Standing Rock! 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 Who stands for Standing Rock? We stand for Standing Rock!
During the breakup of camp, on that day of eviction, there were structures burned. So when we left camp in this prayer walk in this really intentional way, when we came back, my job that day was to get these young children out of camp safely. And I came back and she had been taken away in an ambulance, and her grandmother was there, who I'd gotten to know really well that week. And she said that she was really burned. And I saw some people out there and I ran out. I was so angry that people had been setting fires, but they were setting them on fire because they were things that they didn't want the army to come in and just bulldoze. But I ran out there just totally enraged. And I felt, really guilty that I didn't protect this girl, that I didn't get her out of there before something bad like that could happen to her. So, I took her family to the hospital where they were interrogated. And I was able to call legal and get them out there so the FBI would stop interviewing them as if they were terrorists, and, drove them to a safe house in South Dakota, and then had to immediately turn around to get on my plane back home. But her experience, that's going to, she had third-degree burns all over her face. That's going to be with her for the rest of her life. And we still don't know how that fire got started. So, seeing stuff like that, being there definitely stays with you. And when I got home, I knew that wasn't just something I could put down. That this is something that is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And that fight that was there isn't just there. That they're actually coming for people everywhere. That unfortunately, the powers that be, our system, our government, our military, is on the side of the oil companies, is on the side of profit over people. And I know what side I stand on. And I know there's a lot of people who haven't had the opportunity to see it so blatant in their face. But everyone who is at Standing Rock has seen it. And the thing is it's happening here. It's happening wherever you live. It's happening right under your nose. And we all have to wake up and protect our Mother Earth wherever we are. And that's why I march.
This is
people who are behind me. The Pussy Hat Project started for two main reasons. One was to create a strong visual statement together so that when we're better seen, we're better heard. The second part was to create a way so that people who couldn't be at the march could contribute and be visibly present in hat, so that when you see these marchers, so many times it's not just one person who cares about women's rights issues, but it's two. It makes my heart soar, and it really makes me understand that one person or a few people can have an idea that can be authentic and real and meant to be positive and can spread and be taken on by so many. And what I also love to see is that they're all slightly different. So it's about us all being individuals within a collective that care about women's rights. So it's not that someone went onto Amazon and bought something and put it on their head. It's that people are making these for each other as gifts, as tokens of caring about these issues. And they'll also send them with notes about what women's rights issues are important to them. So it's not just a hat, it's a full project of creating community throughout the country.
Head into this.
So I have been an activist for almost 20 years now, and I spent the first 10 years of that time kind of stumbling around trying to figure out how I could make the biggest difference. And I did a little bit of everything. Actually, I did a lot of different types of activism.
Hey, A-Camp! Hey, Nora! Awesome, I'm amazed y'all know my name.
One of the things that I found was that when adults would learn about problems in our world, they kind of had a resignation, kind of defeated cynicism that that's just the way the world is, and we're not really moved to take any particular action. Whereas when I was talking with teenagers, their first thought seemed to be more like, oh my God, what can I do about this? Which to me is a natural human response when you learn about some type of injustice, right? You have a kind heart and you find out about something wrong in the world, you want to do something.
I just started not my school has done that. We're the dance high school. I don't know, it just never clicked how much
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I don't know, kind of I thought vegetarian was enough just because you are not consuming actual animal itself, but there's so many inhumane practices going on.
Over the years, I've been very passionate about animals. I've always had a very big love in my heart for them. And I joined a club called Care Club at my school, and it's called Club for Animal Rights and the Environment. That's the acronym. And basically we did protests. We did one outside of a Whole Foods once, and we did bake sales, and yeah, so that was a part of the beginning. And then I also went to Nicaragua. It was through a organization called GSE, which is Global Student Embassy. And in Nicaragua, we created gardens for local little homes, and we got to meet a bunch of awesome people and help them make sustainable, teach them about sustainability, and we got to work with them, and that was really an awesome experience. And right after that, I became vegan. Gay Camp has been already very inspiring because it's really easy to lose hope just being around people that don't understand it all, criticize it, or just anything, just people who don't even support it, and just people who I know a lot of people around me because I live in a lot of beautiful nature who love the nature but then still support killing it and still support eating animals, which kills animals, kills their bodies, kills the environment. And so it's just really beautiful to be surrounded by such amazing, like-minded people who want the exact same change and are all excited for everyone to contribute to it. And we kind of all have different, points we're focused on, different things, but they're all so interconnected, and it's amazing to see that as well, because it really makes a community and like changing the entire world, which is like a very big thing. You know, the world seems really big, but then when you bring like-minded, open-minded people around each other, then it feels like, you know, something attainable.
I was a camper at Yay Camp 7 years ago, and then I came back, and it's really cool to work in the kitchen. What's great about this camp is that everything is vegan automatically, so beyond just the activism aspect of this, people are eating vegan for a week and kind of getting to test the waters and see how they respond to it. And some people are already vegan, so it's cool to cater to vegans, and then kids that might not have ever had vegan food otherwise. I feel like they're paying more attention to food than they ever have before. Vegan cooking is definitely a part of my activism because I think it just comes through no matter what. So any recipe I'm making, it's automatically vegan, and people are gonna try it. They're gonna make it across the world, which is what's so fun about writing vegan recipes, is that anybody can make them at any time. And so that's what I like about vegan cooking and being an activist through that.
I wish for a world with flowers and bees. I wish for a world where birds sing with glee, where red and white foxes can play in the snow, and cows live in peace wherever they roam. I wish for a world with compassionate thought. I wish for a world where deer aren't shot, where pigs can lay in the grass and play, and chickens aren't thought of as meat, I pray. Sadly, this world doesn't exist. Humans have destroyed, and we never miss. But what if we changed? Or is it too late? In your hands alone lies our Earth's fate.
We say that activism is taking intentional action to help others. You can also help yourself, but if it's only helping yourself, that doesn't count. So it's taking intentional action to help others. You know, I knew there was like sports camps and band camp and theater camp. There was probably some type of activism camp. And I was on like the 20th page of Google and wasn't finding anything. And I was thinking, if there's something out there, they're not getting the word out enough about what they're doing. And just thought this needs to exist. Y'all are not able to vote yet, but once you turn 18, there's many people, more than half the people in this room that up until not that long ago were not able to vote once you turn 18. You have to be a white male landowner. Basically to be a white male landowner.
Yay Camp has that name because YEA stands for Youth Empowered Action Camp, and we really wanted to acknowledge the fact that we love working with youth and we love empowering kiddos to take action on the things that they're passionate about. I really, really, really love working with teenagers, and I really admire the type of teenagers that come to this camp because often they've educated themselves on all types of world issues. And I talked with a camper named Annika today, and she's super passionate about a bunch of different issues, including gun control and Black Lives Matter and LGBT rights and environmental protection. And it was so amazing to hear a young person, I think she's about 15, who's so educated about so many issues and so passionate.
Hearing about the Parkland shooting, it broke my heart. He had all these warning signs. He was still able to get a gun and do that. It was horrible to me. And seeing so many people, so many survivors, David Hogg, Emma Gonzalez, seeing them stand up for themselves, and instead of just saying, you know what, like thoughts and prayers, thank you, seeing them actually talk about it. The gun marches, that's so, so, so important. And I'm so proud of them for doing that because I cannot. It was Valentine's Day. Like there's pictures of everyone before the shooting, of everyone giving cards to one another, of everyone hugging one another. And then and then they're gone. They're gone the next day, or they're gone within the next hour, and none of them knew that. So seeing everyone just come together, it just really affected me, because no matter your political agenda, no matter what you think, if you're Democratic, if you're Republican, I think we should all agree that kids should not be dying.
I think there's a lot of outrage and righteous indignation about things that are happening in our world today. And sometimes food advocacy seems like a small thing, but it isn't. If you look at the number of people who die of preventable diseases, like heart disease, and even some of the cancers, and the percentage of people, you see that 30, 40, 50,000 people did not need to die. If that was like gun violence, people would be marching on the street. And there's this argument between whether we're making an individual choice or whether we're being pushed to make a certain choice by subsidies toward, for example, agriculture. People say it's an individual choice. Well, maybe, but if you only have that thing available to you, is that a choice? You find in black communities, we don't call them food deserts anymore, we call them food swamps. Because you go and there's a Taco Bell on one corner, and there's a McDonald's on one corner, and then on the next corner, there's a kidney dialysis center, right? So we know the impact of this cheap food, the $1.50 hamburgers. We've got to find a way of making those people feel valued enough that they feel like they can take care of themselves and buy the proper food that they need to eat. So one of the things that I do is I'm a community chef for a farm called Zinger Farms, and what I do is I prepare dishes, and there's a relationship we have with an organization called Black Parent Initiative, where they come in and I teach the parents skills to cook. And the dishes that I prepare are plant-based, so they're vegan, which surprises a few at first because they're not sure that they're going to like it. They traditionally have been raised on meat products. A lot of them don't eat pork, but they eat chicken or beef. And so when you tell them you're going to make an entire meal with no dairy, no pork, no beef, no chicken, they're like, ooh, how are we going to do this? And at the end, they usually are fans. I know that this is having an impact, and I know the reason that a lot of people eat what they eat is because it's easily accessible. Time is an issue, quality of life is an issue. If you're working and you have small kids, sometimes it's hard to prepare a decent meal, but I give them options that they can prepare in 30, 35 minutes. And so their children are learning good eating habits. Later on, after they learn those good eating habits for themselves and they figure out what it does for them, they'll want to share that with other people. They'll say, hey, you know what? This is really good for me. I feel like I'm physically fit, I can move better. Also, they'll realize that things want to live. And so as they become more compassionate toward themselves, they'll be more compassionate toward other people in their community. And then that extends to other living things. They'll start to realize, hey, you know what? This cow kind of reminds me of my dog or my cat. And so they'll start to make that connection as well. I think of it as a journey.
I have assigned an out-of-site paddler and an out-of-site paddler per family. You're gonna become part of this family. If you want me to put you under blindfold tomorrow and take you around and teach you something called human guide or sighted guide, let me know and I will do that for you. It just gives you an opportunity to see what they see for a brief brief moment of your time.
I'll
Okay?
do it.
Chuck, come on. There's one in every crowd. One in every crowd.
What we're doing this weekend is it's part of our Veterans Serve in the Community program that we started at our chapter in Susquehanna Valley, Team River Runner. And we have a group of veterans who are showing up. We're going to be teaching children and their families how to kayak as a family activity. And, you know, kids who are have low vision or who are blind spend a lot of their lives being led around. And some programs that do kayaking like this will actually do tethered kayaking or dual cockpit, meaning that the boat will tie off to the kid's boat and the parent will just tow them around. And, you know, okay, that's a great day on the water, but the kid's still being led by the hand, essentially. And this is a totally independent activity that the child learns how to be guided. The parents learn how to guide. And we take those parent-child groups down the river and just experience the joy of recreation. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the pool up here and we're going to put the boats in the water and we're going to flip them over. Rule 1, how do you get out of a flipped over kayak? Something a lot of people don't think about.
So tell me what you're going to do again. Explain to me what you're doing.
Once you in the water, you have to tap. Once you're in the danger, you have to tap you boat so let the people know you're in the danger.
Okay, and I want to remind you that this is a very serious thing because when you're on the river, it's a whole lot different than in the pool. You understand that, right?
Yes.
So take it very serious. So when you go under, the most important thing is don't panic, just relax. And just remember what you do. You tap the side of the boat, and then you push yourself out, and you come up. You good?
Okay.
Okay. You ready? Let me get back here, and I'll tell you when to go. All right, I'm ready when you are.
Oh, really?
Yep. Easy to do, trust me. I'll help. Wes, good job, buddy. You okay?
Yeah.
That was beautiful, buddy. All right, who's next?
So what Chuck does with the kids is he shows them, I understand you guys, I'm coming from the same place you are. You know, I can't see, but look at the things that I can do. It's not impossible. I can show you how to do this. I can help you succeed. I am going on a big challenge myself, so let's get you through your challenge. Then we're going to take them up to the pond up here, and we're going to paddle around the pond. We're going to teach the 4 basic strokes: the forward stroke, the backward stroke, the sweep or turn stroke, and draw stroke. And those are the very basic ways that people are going to move around the river.
Teaching these blind children, I think, you know, one of the most important things, like they said, is to teach them to be as independent as possible. Because what I learned doing outdoor activities is the more I did it myself, the more confident I got. Yeah. You know, and I guess that's true with anybody, but with me, once I can see it in my mind how it works, then I can do it. You know, does that make any sense? Yeah. Yeah, so I try to build a mind map of what, like whenever somebody says, this is your kayak, I try to fill all around it and, you know, orientate myself to the kayak, and then the paddle's really important, you know, but I was thinking that's how we could do the kids too.
Okay, this is Mr. Greg over here. There's Cindy right there in that big yellow boat, okay? Here we go.
Oh, big girl.
This is awesome.
Big girl.
This is a weekend about self-actualization. These kids are going to learn that they don't need to be led by the hand. A lot of them have never done this before. This is the biggest adventure of their lives. It's massive to these guys. That's why we do this, is because we're actually changing lives. You know, we're changing the parents and we're changing the children's lives as they do this. And our veterans, as they watch what they're able to do for the kids and for the parents to build this new activity. Blows me away. I just sit back and just watch it happen, and it's therapy for me. And God, I need a lot of therapy.
When you talk about healing, and you talk about individuals, volunteers, and veterans healing themselves and healing others, you've hit the root of what we do as a nation. It was Jimmy Doolittle that said the heart of America are its volunteers. Well, that doesn't necessarily negate the veterans as being volunteers later in life when they come out of the service and they want to give back, or if they're in active duty and they want to continue to give to their community even outside their service. And so there's all different kinds of healing. There's physical healing and spiritual healing, emotional healing, and all of these things, are torn asunder by a disability or a family that's in crisis or a nation that's, in turmoil.
All right, Wes. Let's do it, baby.
And so here we have one small place in the world,
I'll make it really bounce.
in their world, where there is an opportunity to become empowered and to help others and help heal yourself by helping others, to step out of the tragedy that may be surrounding them either in their community or in their life. And Chuck's part of this team to help us do this. And so wouldn't that be nice if someday there was no such thing as a place where people go paddling that you don't always see a wheelchair sitting by the water or always don't see a bunch of canes laying on the shore while somebody's out paddling? Wouldn't that be nice?
Drop me in the water. On my way. Where's my boat?
Over there. We'll slip it over there. Where's over where? See my phone?
When you're losing your sight, it's such a scary thing because you feel like, you really do feel like your life is over when you can't see anymore. So it took me quite some time to be able to get through that. And that's why I'm so passionate about the kids that I worked with in the kayaking clinic, because I have the ability to help them get through that faster.
Got it. Thank you, man. You're off. Thank you. Go straight.
Both the parents and the children came with open minds. And I think that they really wanted to be in a positive experience.
Hey, Kelly, how are you? I'm having the time of my life, girl. How about you?
Kelly and Dale are two of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. Those parents are phenomenal. And they specifically look for kids with a visual impairment. They really believe with all their hearts that they have the opportunity to make a difference in those kids' lives.
If I say Clara, you say Mama. Mom. Okay, good job. Let's go this way, honey.
I can already tell just from the little bit of time that they've had those kids in their home that those kids have really started learning that they really don't have any limits.
Hey, Wesley. Show off. He's just having fun.
Wesley was doing donuts around me, and I thought that was pretty amazing that he was so confident from the little bit of training that he had. We just really had one day of training, and then we put him on the water. And I just felt like the connection that he and I made in that pool really strengthened him to be able to have enough confidence to do donuts going down the river. So I thought that was pretty cool. To me, especially for the children, it shows how strong they really are. And I think that the parents understood that.
Hey, beautiful. Why you do it? Why do I do this? Because I love you. Mommy!
They really don't have any limits at all. And I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to help them experience that.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope you're enjoying a nice, bright, early Saturday. Really excited because we are getting ready to head out to Klagetoh. Just packing up one of the trailers with our donations. Figuring out how to stack everything.
Those are onions. Let's put these. Let's continue putting these back here on top of the other ones.
Incredible turnout from the community. We've got apples and oranges, potatoes, onions, tomatoes, rice and beans, even some snacks. So really excited, really grateful. Special shout out to Heart of Compassion. You guys gave an incredible donation, really generous donation. Thank you, Pastor John. Also to Long Beach Community Table. Our other partner, Joe, is heading up here now with a bunch of supplies from there, apples and oranges, and a bunch of mushrooms, which we're really excited about. And thank you so much, Michelle Ching, for your donation of cleaning supplies from your mutual aid organization. Just so many great people donating so many great supplies, and really excited. I'll show you all one more time. This is what we're working on right now, stacking our food, and this all came from community, y'all. We couldn't do this without you, so you know, we're just really grateful.
Your Rockstar Emergency Advisor will return to you shortly.
Oh boy. I would say this is U-Haul's fault, right? Like they aren't repairing their tires often enough?
Okay, unfortunately, Chevrolet Roadside Assistance does not deliver tires, sir. They'll put your spare on your vehicle, sir, or tow the vehicle itself. Now, if you have the number for AAA, sir, for your vehicle, I can get you in contact with them to see if they're able to help you.
Yes, can you do that, please?
Yeah, we lost a tire on the trailer going to Standing Rock also. This is just a tradition. Okay. We might be staying in Flagstaff tonight. All right.
Back on the road.
Back on the road again. Here we are. Go. Awesome. We're here in Klagetoh on the Navajo Nation, working with the Klagetoh veterans. We brought a supply full of food, water, and medical supplies. We did it to support elders in the community, folks who, have to travel a long way, and during this COVID outbreak, that presents them with additional risks. I'm working back in California with a group called the Dandelion Collective, and it's a bunch of Bernie organizers who've wanted to continue to do good even after the campaign ended. We've really dived into frontlines work during the crisis. So feeding unhoused folks, going to protect folks from being illegally evicted from their homes, direct actions on the streets with Black Lives Matter, and then coming out to the Navajo Nation. A lot of folks don't feel safe to do that, and we all took it upon ourselves to actually move in together into a household where we were taking on similar risk by working in the community. So we feel like we're folks that can support these frontlines endeavors. And so that's what brought me here, was working with the Dandelion Collective and realizing that we just wanted to be of service to folks already doing the work and supporting others' work. So we've done things like help create more streamlined onboarding for the mutual aid, really being frontline support for the LA Tenants Union, and delivering, over 100 meals to the unhoused every week that we cook. Sourcing food from food banks, and we actually prepare the meals and then go deliver them in the community. So this project with the Navajo Nation really fit right into that, and our team and our supporters, helped bring together the funds and the donations to do this trip and support the Klagetoh veterans.
When my dad passed away, he was only 51 years old. He was a veteran. World War II, but he was never recognized until a year after his death. His papers finally came through, so he never saw his veteran benefits, but he built us a home. We used to call it the kids' house. The grandkids, they loved it there. They know they belonged there. Somebody came by and torched it, arson. And they all cried when we lost everything. Everything. Yad she Maggie Roan Horsin, she it's a lot so Bissendashin Shukat Khatnach. Ado Shiliat do did Hayon Henda has Tiki Yish Huiche Be Shado Be Shosovich and Ahitish ne. خالد أبكاتي تشلا خالد آيات بعد ديلنيلا نسن خاد شيبه بن ما تهويل جينا داتلا كنت خان داتجي كريد أنا بديل خال أكو بي بن يداس أديت دي يega banza كيستولي. What I said is we put these veterans. They went overseas, they put their lives on hold to defend our freedom. But yet now, we just kick them around. But yet, we hid behind those people. Why can't we take them back and value them and do something for them? Is what I said now.
I recognize the importance of growing food for not just for yourself, but yourself and your family. It's just really important to get that head start on caring for another life and nurturing it so that it continues to grow. We as human beings can really learn a lot about ourselves, and so that we can continue helping others. I was born here in the Navajo Nation, and just the name of the place that we come from, the town alone says a lot about where we come from. Like for myself, it's Klagetoh. And Klagetoh means where the water's underneath the ground, and that alone says almost everything about how things operate. The gears that are working that not a lot of people see.
Yo, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, oh, hey, yo, hey. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, oh, hey, yo, hey. Yo, hey, yo, hi, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo, hi, ya. Yo, hey, yo, hi, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo, hi, ya, hey, yo, hi, ya, hey, ya, hey, yo, hey, yo, hi, ya, hey, yo, hi, yo.
Welcome to the home of the Vegemobile. The concept of the Vegemobile is to bring food justice to communities that haven't had the opportunity to have fresh foods and vegetables, or if they do have access to them through a store like New Seasons or Whole Foods, it's just unaffordable for them. So when we're talking about these communities, we're talking about East Portland a lot, where Black and brown people tend to live. And so this is an opportunity to bring health and well-being to the community. And the initial idea for the Vegemobile came from folks just saying, hey, I'm in need. And someone would always say, well, you can go to the food bank, or you can go here. And the person would say, well, I don't get off work until 6, and they only stay open till this hour. Or I'm on public transportation and there isn't a bus line that connects there. So I was trying to think of a way to make it convenient for folks to get what they need. Right down the street from the Mississippi Street Farm Stand Market is a piece of land that looks a lot like a jungle, but it's actually a urban farm. And I will be planting there immediately so that I can produce enough vegetables to come in here. I don't want to have to depend on donations strictly. I also want to be able to have a variety and know that I'm capable of making sure that this is stocked at all times. So that means I'll be growing myself.
Yeah, everything. All the books.
That's not your toy.
Do you know if Carlos is coming out today?
I thought he was. I hope so because I have his battery. Torture you with this. This is terrible.
Oh, he wants it so bad. I know you do.
Oh, tell me about the press conference. I had to work.
Well, we were very excited because we had some members of the media that were there, but members of the media have been coming and covering at different days, like Telemundo, Univision was there. Yesterday we had NBC, we had ABC there.
We created this bus to bring joy, to bring education, to bring imagination, to bring them peace, because children's lives are at stake right now. Their education is at stake right now. People forget that while they're waiting to seek asylum, they're spending days, weeks, months in shelters, in concentration camps, in refugee camps as well, and nobody's really taking care of their education. So we want to bring this blast of joy. We want to bring positivity. We want to be a solution to this tremendous problem that we're having right now. So we're very grateful for you guys to be here and to help share this message. And if anybody's interested in helping in this cause, you can go to yeswecan.world/volunteer and learn more about our organization. But this bus really is for the children. It was created 100% by a team of community members who have donated their time, their funds, their donations, and we're really grateful that the community has really stepped up at this moment that we need them the most. And this is a message for the President of the United States. I ask you to please open up your heart and see that these children need your compassion. They need your compassion. They need your compassion. So please, I invite you. I invite the President of the United States to come to the border, to meet those children, to look into their eyes and tell them that they are not welcome in the United States. Because when you see the children, you see their potential, you see their life, you see their joy, you see their hope, and you see that they have no wrong in this situation. So please, please, come down to the border and meet the children and open up your heart.
Estefania had a vision. I am so overwhelmingly happy. I feel so much joy in my heart just to be able to see this bus being loaded up right now, knowing that in a few hours, there's going to be a group of children, their families, their friends, the neighbors, that are going to stand in awe, when they see it, and for the children to be able to run in there and just look at it, that's the moment of our joy.
before he started going up, I had doubts, and I was very close to having a panic attack, and I told him, and I was like breaking down, and I told him, I was like, I don't think this is safe. I'm really worried about you. I don't know if you should do it. And I think the connection that we have is also a very trusting connection. And he said, I can do it. And I know that he wouldn't say that if he wasn't 100% sure. So once we made that commitment and he started going up, I think that's when it changes to a more supportive relationship where I'm like, okay, you're doing this, and how do we make it happen? And like, let's go, go, go. My other worry was because it's so narrow, there's probably, like 8 feet, and the bus is 8, that it was gonna flip. I was like, oh my gosh. I would literally die if something happens to him. Like I told him at the house when we got home, I was like, I would literally, like people say that all the time, but I think I actually would. Like I don't see my life without him. And yeah, when we came in, commitment. We should have maybe measured this, but before building the bus, but we just did it and came. And I think that's awesome too about life, just going with it, like just saying yes and just going with it. And you never know where it's gonna take you. Like I didn't know 6 months ago that we would be here.
They pitched in setting up the chairs with us for the classroom, sweeping out the bus. Some of the older teenagers, you could tell, were like, can I be here? And you know, we definitely wanted to include them too in the process of setting up the school. And you could just tell just from that initial setup what an improvement this program is making in their lives. Before we opened up this space for the school, it had been just an abandoned parking lot, so it wasn't really available for even recreation for the children. So the school not only was bringing education, but also opening up this whole new landscape. Because within the camp, this first camp, not super large, maybe 40 to 60 people, but the quarters are incredibly tight. Basically just beds laid out, and the fact that all of these young people and young children have been kind of cooped up in those quarters with nothing to do for so many months already really broke my heart. And knowing that this whole new world was opening up for them, it just couldn't be better.
The people in the shelter are migrants. They have either traveled from Honduras, from Nicaragua, or from Guatemala, or even from bottom parts of Mexico. That's where usually people migrate from. And most of the moms here and the children are from those areas. This is Tijuana, one of the border cities. They're waiting for their turn to be able to seek asylum in the U.S. When you don't have a legal status, you can't go sign up for school. You can't go, and you're not a citizen, you're not a resident, you don't have any paperwork to be in Mexico. So these children are here spending their whole day basically doing nothing, just, you know, going day by day, where they have so much potential. So why not help them fulfill that potential with the school system? With, you know, with even one of the parents came to ask us today. They were like, hey, like, do you need any paperwork from me? How do I sign up my kid? And I told them, like, no, that's why we made this program, so you don't have to worry about that. Just bring him tomorrow at 9 a.m. and the teachers will sign him in. And this is fully funded by donations. We don't ask for any money, so you don't have any obstacle to not be in school.
Estefanía, que es llegar a qué hora? A las 9 tenemos que llegar en punto con nuestro uniforme. ¿Cuál es tu uniforme? La camisa. La camisa, muy bien. ¿Qué más debo de traer?
when you're a kid, you don't get to choose what happens to you. You don't get to choose where your parents take you. You don't get to choose to not have a parent. And these kids are being brought up here because their family members think it's the best thing for them. So when they get here and they don't know what's going on, I think it's really unfair for people to look at this situation and point the finger and say they shouldn't be coming here. How dare they? How dangerous is it for their children to be coming up here? You don't know the situation they're escaping. You don't know, like myself, somebody can look at me and never know my story and never know that back home somebody wanted to hurt my family. You know, people just see the outside. People don't know your experience. So I think the same thing happens to these kids, that people don't know their situation, and kids are really vulnerable. I think kids need to be protected, and their rights need to be protected by us. We're the adults, and we're the ones that always say, oh, they're the future, oh, children need to be safe. But that's just a say for a lot of people. For us, it's not. For us, is literally, it's been my life. People helped us. People helped my family. People helped my well-being. People helped who I've become. And I'm just paying it forward. I'm just trying to do whatever is right. And I'm just trying to do what helped me in my experience. So that's why we're doing. And if anybody can take anything away from this effort, it's just to open their hearts to compassion and open their hearts to seeing these children for what they are, just children, that they're not guilty at all of the situation they're going through.
From the darkness, you can see that they are light, gathering in the cold. Their fire warms the night with a steady hand of hope. The quiet hero fights so the world can spin round gently. They are poor and they are rich. They are old and they are young. They walk in every land and journey many miles just a face in the crowd. The quiet hero smiles, and the world goes spinning gently another time around. Each good turn will bring the light of day to find us here all together. Soon the multitudes will rise up and shout across the seas that the greatest gift is giving to another. Now those of courage are those who take us by the hand. They never look away, no, never look away. And though we may not see, the quiet hero waits while the world goes spinning gently another time around. Each good turn will bring the light of day to find us here all together. Soon the multitudes will rise up and shout across the seas that the greatest gift is giving to another. to a place of peace, where each and every one will feel the joy that love can give, the joy the quiet hero knows, that each good turn will bring the light of day to find us here all together. Soon the multitudes will rise up and shout across the seas that the greatest gift is giving to another.